What's up, guys? Today we're going to be answering a question: which budget flagship should I buy, the S22 Plus or the iPhone 13 here? So very good question. Both phones just got pretty big updates: the One UI 8 update or Android 16 on the S22 Plus, and then iOS 26 on the iPhone 13 here. If we look at the prices here, you can see an iPhone 13 is roughly going to cost a little bit below 300 bucks. So we see the lowest 272, and then the S22 Plus is gonna cost you around 200 bucks. So it's actually a little bit cheaper. So you can save a little bit more money, going with the S22 Plus if you're on a very tight budget here. All right, so let's go ahead and just take a look at the hardware throughout, all this time. I think both phones still look pretty good. I think I kind of like the S22 Plus design a little bit more. I think this phone has aged a little bit better. It has that matte finish, and you also have IP68 on both. I don't think the iPhone looks bad at all. You do kind of see fingerprints on this blue model. It's got that glossy back, but it still looks good, and I think the S22 Plus is just a bit more comfortable to hold. The iPhone is a little bit smaller though, so if you have smaller hands, then you might like this phone a little bit more. It's kind of easier to one hand. But yeah, I think the designs look, pretty good. I don't think they look outdated at all. They've been holding up pretty well throughout the years. As far as the displays go, I think the S22 Plus here is going to have the better display. So if you are someone who watches a lot of content on your phone, movies, this display just looks a lot better. It's a 6.6-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 Plus, 1750 nits peak brightness at a 1080p resolution, 393 for the PPI, and it looks really good. It's 88.3% screen to body ratio. The punch hole looks a lot better than the 13's notch here, and I overall just like the colors a lot more. And like I said, the big selling point here is slimmer bezels, 120 Hz, and it's a lot brighter. The 13 display is not horrible. It's a 6.1-inch XDR OLED panel. It's also HDR10, 1200 nits peak brightness, and this actually does have a higher resolution at 1170 by 2532 at 460. So it does look a little bit sharper than the S22's 1080p panel. So I would say, again, I would go easily with the S22 Plus if you watch a lot of movies and you just are doing a lot on your phone as far as video watching. This is going to be the much more superior phone when it comes to that. And also, just the display being 120 Hz makes everything a lot smoother on the S22 Plus when we start getting into animations and stuff like that. So I think the S22 Plus, again, I would go with this display. The performance is pretty interesting here. The 13 has the Apple A15 chipset. We also, again, running iOS 26, 128 gigs of internal storage, 4 gigs of RAM, and the S22 Plus has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 128 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. And the iPhone actually will come out on top here when it comes to Geekbench and just benchmarks in general. It's just going to be a little bit more powerful phone. As far as performance goes, I would say that the iPhone is really not that much faster than the S22, even though the benchmarks will kind of say that it is. No, I think it's perfectly fine. I think they're pretty much on par. Like I said, the S22 Plus to me feels a lot it feels a lot smoother because of the 120 Hz. You guys can see. And also something to note about the software, the S22 Plus, this was its last major update, so it will not be getting Android 17, but it should get 8.5 when you add 8.5, and it's still getting security patches. The iPhone 13 will most likely definitely get the next update, iOS 27. But as you guys can see, not a big deal. I don't have any major performance issues with the S22 Plus. And also, one advantage with the S22 Plus, because we have a lot more RAM, is that we can actually take advantage of the AI features, which none of the older base model iPhones have, except the newest one, the newer one, like the iPhone 16. You get the Apple Intelligence, but you actually can experience some of the AI features on the S22 Plus. You got the updated Gemini. You got your circle to search. If we open up our 3D Mark here, you guys can see the performance here. So they're actually pretty much on par. The S22 will actually play PUBG at 90 frames versus the iPhone, you know, it's limited to 60 frames. So I would say if you're trying to do a little bit of gaming, you actually have a slightly better experience on the S22 Plus because of the display. Let's check out these speakers. We're at max volume. Yeah, so I would say the iPhone 13 speakers sound a lot better to me. It's a lot fuller and the bass is a lot better, but it's not just the bass. The overall sound is a lot fuller. The S22 Plus, while it does sound, you know, decent, it is a little bit flat in comparison. Yeah, it's just nowhere near as balanced and as loud. So I would say the 13 actually has the better speaker here for sure. One of the cool things about, you know, Android phones in general is that you get a fingerprint scanner, but you also get a, you know, you can do your classic face unlock here. This is the ultrasonic. It works really well. The Face ID works very good as well too, but you're limited to just the Face ID. So, all right, so which phone is going to be better for taking photos and video? I'm going to show you guys some side-by-side stills. Let me know what you guys think. The iPhone 13 has a dual camera setup, 12 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot in 4K 60 with a 12 megapixel selfie that also shoots in 4K 60. And because we have no telephoto lens, we're going to be limited on zoom at 5 times. Now, the S22 Plus, it does have a 50 megapixel standard, 10 megapixel telephoto, 3 times optical, so it can get us up to 30 times. And then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. We can shoot in 8K 24 with a 10 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. All right, so even with 100% battery health, you can still get very good screen on time with the iPhone 13. It's not bad, but I do feel like I'm getting much better screen on time with the S22 Plus, and it does have a bigger battery. And honestly, the standby time is a lot better on the S22 Plus versus the 13. If you leave the 13, it'll drain way quicker than an S22 Plus if you just leave them for a few days. So that's one thing I noticed about using both these phones. So I would say the screen on time is actually a little bit better, but the 13 is not bad. The thing is that a lot of you guys will not have a 100% battery health, but it's very easy to swap these out and change them. But yeah, so it is just something to note. The 13's battery life is not bad though, so I wouldn't let that dissuade you because you can still get through a day if you're not doing a whole bunch of gaming and heavy stuff. On here, because the battery, it's kind of small. It's a 3,240 milliamp hour battery. It does have MagSafe capability, which is nice, and you also have your Qi2 wireless charging. The S22 Plus has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery and charges much faster as well too. It's noticeably faster at 45 watts on the S22 Plus, and you also have wireless and reverse wireless charging. So I would say it really comes down to a few things, right? The iPhone 13 will get another major OS update. The S22 Plus will not. It'll only get security updates. And then we have to talk about, I think performance is pretty much on par with the S22 Plus being a little bit better in that department. The cameras are a big deciding factor of what you guys thought about the pictures and video. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. And yeah, I would say battery life, not a big deal between these two phones. They both are pretty good for, me. And yeah, I would say you could honestly save some money and go in S22 Plus. It just depends on your, your needs, right? So let me know what you guys think.